Okay, hello again. My name's Jay Haley from Palmore Institute, and in this video, we'll be looking at information from our senior class, and this is going to be video number 3 in the series. In the previous 2 videos, we were talking about writing paragraphs. We spent a lot of time talking about the topic sentence. Today, we're moving on. We're going to look at some other things. We'll start by looking at titles, and then we'll begin to talk about the next part of your paragraph, which is the supporting sentences. So let's get started with titles. Now, if you take a look at this slide, just a brief couple points about the titles. The title of a paragraph or of an essay usually going to be short, often just a couple words long, sometimes just one word. Okay. Secondly, it is not usually a full sentence. The rules of grammar when you're writing a title are a little more flexible. You can leave out words. You can play around a bit with the verb tense. Often we'll use present tense instead of past tense, even though the event happened in the past. It's just the custom of titles, and you'll get a sense of these as we write more and more titles. The third and final point, and an important one, you want to catch the reader's interest. Okay? You want the title to say something about what you're going to write, but don't say too much. You just want to say enough to make the reader interested. All right. Having talked about that, let's take a look at some possible titles. Now, you might remember this paragraph from previous videos in our series. This is the one about working in a small company versus a big company. And just to read it one more time, and we've included the topic sentence here, it says, it's better to work for a smaller company than for a larger one. First, working at a big company can be very stressful. For example, workers are often transferred to other cities. I think most people want to choose where they live. And second, there are fewer career opportunities at large companies. It's much easier to get a promotion in a smaller workplace. Okay, having thought of that, or having looked at the actual paragraph itself, we're going to need to write a title. What I'd like you to do is pause the video and think of an idea for your title for this paragraph. Once you have an idea, unpause the video, come back, and I'll show you some of my ideas. Okay, I assume you paused the video and had a chance to write a title. Here are 5 ideas I had for a title, and let's just talk about them real quick. Number 1 is Workers of the World Go Small. Okay, it's a little play on the famous quotation by Karl Marx, and it's telling, I think it captures the idea of the theme of the paragraph, which is working for a small company is better. It's advice to workers. Okay. The second one, again, a little play on words, a small decision. It has this double meaning of deciding to choose the small thing, but also a decision which is a small decision, not a major decision. Of course, in this case, which company you work for is a pretty big decision in your life. Okay. Number 3, the smaller the better, okay, with a question mark. That's an interesting one. Question marks are okay. Exclamation points are okay in titles, though we don't usually use periods. They're not full sentences, and we don't treat them like that, so usually no periods. Okay. Fourth idea, the benefits of a small company. Now, this one is it's kind of a boring one, honestly, but it is very straightforward. It tells exactly what this paragraph is going to talk about, and it's a decent title if I'm writing to maybe a non-native speaker audience. Number 5, again, a little play on words, having a little fun with this one. I'll take the small one, please. As in if you're choosing a dessert or a piece of cake, which one do you want, the big piece, the small piece? Most people are going to go for the big piece. But no, me, I'll take the small one, please. I think it will interest the reader enough to read the paragraph. In any event, I looked at these 5 titles, I thought about it, and in the end, I decided to choose number 1. So that's the one that appears here. Workers of the World, Go Small. Okay. Now that you've seen how to do it, let's try it all together. Now, I'm going to have you do this one. Here's the paragraph. This is about the paragraph that is about companies allowing employees to wear casual work clothes to work. Again, let me read it out to you. Okay. Companies should allow employees to wear casual clothes to work. By doing so, these companies can make their workers happy. Casual clothes are more comfortable than dress code clothes, so workers will be more relaxed and able to enjoy their work. Second, many companies want to help the environment. If employees are allowed to wear casual clothes, they will be cooler. Because of this, companies won't have to use air conditioners as much, which will reduce the amount of energy used. All right, pause the video and write your own title here. Now, of course, your titles are going to be different from mine. I imagine very different. There are so many possible good titles. But take a moment, write your title, and when you have it, unpause the video, and I'll show you what my title is. Okay, the title I went for here is Dressed Down at Work. Dressing down, it's the opposite of dressing up. It does have a little double meaning in that to dress someone down often means to scold them. But here, I'm not talking about your boss yelling at you. I'm talking about wearing more casual clothes at work. So a little double meaning there. If you have a good sense of English, enough to play on double meanings, give it a try. They work really well in titles and can interest the readers. Okay, again, your title, I'm sure, was very different from this one. What you can do, of course, is email me your ideas, or once classes restart, bring them in and we can check what you wrote. Let's move on to the next major thing. Now that the title's out of the way, the topic sentence we talked about 2 weeks, in the last 2 weeks. Let's move on to the meat of your paragraph. These are called the supporting sentences. These are the sentences in the middle, and I just want to introduce 2 points about them. Now, first, supporting sentences support the topic sentences with examples, explanation, clarification. They answer questions like who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay, the big WH questions. And this is the way you're going to support that topic sentence. Now, you may have noticed the illustration on the first slide that I've been using in this series of videos. It has that red ball sitting on top of a purple colored cube. And I think I chose that partly because in some ways the red ball is like the topic sentence, and then the supporting sentences are like the red cube, so the purple colored cube. The topic sentence in a way balances on top of all of these supporting sentences, which are holding it up with supporting information. Let's next take a look at some common types of supporting sentences. Now on this slide, you will see 5. Okay? 5 types of supporting sentences. 1, explain. 2, describe. 3, give reasons. 4, give facts. 5, give examples. Looking at these 5, let's take a look at some examples of each. Now the first one was to explain. The purpose was explain. Here, I'm imagining the topic sentence is this sentence here. There are many support services offered by a good health system. Okay. Now, one way to explain this idea is to include this supporting sentence. Since many people desire to lead a healthier lifestyle, counselors should be available to help them learn about diet and exercise. Okay, that sentence again is explaining what I meant when I said many support services. Like, what kinds of support services? Well, this one is explaining one type of support services, that is counseling about diet, exercise. Okay, the second type of supporting sentence was describing. Here, the topic sentence involves the Himalaya mountain range. And the sentence is, the Himalaya mountain range serves a vital role in the hydrology of the Asian continent. Hydrology, pretty big word, but this is a bit of an academic text we're looking at. So hydrology is just about the way water moves, rivers, lakes, those kinds of things. Okay. The supporting sentence is going to describe it. So let's see what it says. It says, within these towering peaks, okay, describing the Himalayas, 3 of the world's major river systems begin their lengthy journey to the sea. Okay, it's a long journey, again, explaining about the hydrology, the movement of the water in the river systems, and also describing the high Himalaya mountains. Okay. The third one we were talking about was giving reasons. In this case, the topic sentence was, note-taking is one of the most useful skills for success on the TOEFL test. And the supporting sentence is this, one reason why note-taking is important. Okay, it is 3 of the 4 sections on the test require that you listen to people talking and take notes on what they say. Yeah, hey, if you're ever going to take the TOEFL test, I know from experience this is true. Note-taking is very important. But, the topic sentence says note-taking is a useful skill on the test. The supporting sentence is explaining why. It's the reason. Well, the reason is 75% of the test involves note-taking. All right, on to the next one. The next one, giving facts. These look nice and short. The topic sentence was, new media is in the process of supplanting traditional media. Now, supplanting means replacing. So the supporting sentence is a fact from the internet. It says just 50% of US adults now get their news from TV. Okay? It's factual information. It is supporting this idea that traditional media is being overtaken by new media. Okay, fewer people getting news from TV than in previous years. The last one is to give examples. So the last purpose of the supporting sentence is giving examples. Here, our topic sentence was, Indonesia has several key natural resources. Okay. The supporting sentence is, Indonesia is a leading producer of mineral resources such as tin, gold, natural gas, coal, nickel, and copper. Okay, these are all examples of key natural resources that Indonesia has. Okay, they give, looks like 6 examples of natural mineral resources that are in Indonesia. Okay, so one more time, those were the 5 types of supporting sentences. Some will explain, some describe. You can give reasons, give facts, or lastly, give examples. All right. One last thing to talk about today is using questions, those WH questions we talked about earlier, to write supporting details. Now, I have a topic sentence. I'm happy with that, but what supporting sentences do I need? What should I write about? One way to consider this is to take a moment and brainstorm some good WH questions that you need to answer in order to support your topic sentence. Now, in this example, the topic sentence was, some pesticides should not be used on vegetable crops. Okay? So I've already given the two ideas here. First is, well, what kinds of pesticides should not be used? It says some pesticides. Which ones will be important? And second one is, why should we avoid using the pesticides? I mean, I would like to know. So these are two pieces of information that you'll need to support this topic sentence. Now, you might need more. You might decide to use more, but brainstorming these types of questions will give you some idea about what types of supporting sentences you want to include in your paragraph. Okay. Let's try some examples on our own. So on the next slide, you'll see a new topic sentence. This topic sentence says, traditional farming methods provide several benefits to the environment. Okay, it's a good topic sentence, but what kind of support does it need? So take a moment, pause the video, brainstorm, think about some WH questions. What WH questions will you want to answer in order to support this topic sentence? Okay, pause the video, think of some ideas. When you're ready, unpause, and I will tell you some of my ideas. Okay, looks like I have three here. So the first one is, what are these traditional farming methods? What do they mean when they say traditional farming methods? I'm curious about what types. Is it all traditional farming or particular techniques? Let me know. Second one, where are they practiced? Where are these techniques used? What parts of the world? Just curious about that. And then third, what are the environmental benefits? The topic sentence promises several benefits, no detail, and that's okay in the topic sentence, but with the supporting sentences, you really need to include this information. So what environmental benefits specifically are you talking about? Okay. If you include that information, I think you'll have a pretty good paragraph. Okay. Of course, your questions probably look different from mine, and that's okay. Again, email, or I'll check them when we get back to school, but here's my answers. All right, let's do one last one. In this one, it says, the topic sentence is, children who participate in sports are often more confident than those who do not. Okay. Pause the video, choose your ideas. I'll think of my questions. When you're ready, come back. Okay, so again, I have three questions here. The first one, I was curious, children is a pretty wide category. So like how old? How old are the children that we're talking about? Second question, what types of sport provide this effect? Is it all sports, or is it individual sports or team sports? Which one is more? Is it all equal? I'd like to know. Okay. Lastly, more confident seems a little fuzzy. Again, in the topic sentence, it's fine, but in support, you're probably going to want to define this more clearly. So how do you measure confidence? It's not measured in milliliters or cubic centimeters. So how exactly are you measuring confidence? I'll want to know that. Okay, and that is pretty good for today. Next time, I'll be back and I'll be delivering you a video, and we'll be continuing along with the issue of supporting sentences. There's a few more things I'd like you to consider. But for this week, what I'd like you to do is the same thing that we've been doing in this class. I'd like you to choose your own topic sentence. Okay? Start with the topic sentence, then list up some questions. Then you might need to do some research, but do a little research, answer the questions. Once you got that, write your paragraph. Okay? It's a free topic this week. Oh, and don't forget, since we talked about titles, don't forget to add a title. Okay, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you're all well, stay healthy, stay good, and I hope to see you all again real soon. Thanks.